Hello everyone, hope you are doing good. Welcome to the next video on data templates in Microsoft Dynamics 365. My name is Saurabh Bharti. I'm a Microsoft Dynamics 365 professional. This is my YouTube channel where I come and I share my knowledge and experience with you all. So without further delay, let's start the today's topic, and we are going to discuss about the data templates, and this is the second part of our data templates video. If you have not gone through the first part, I'm going to put the link in the description. Please go and visit that, and let's start the today's topic. In the first part, what we did is that we just explored that there are default templates which are available in Microsoft Dynamics 365. We explored the use case, that what we can do with them, so we can use the data templates for migrating the configuration from one environment to another environment, or even we can use for copying the information or data from one legal entity to another legal entity, the master data, configurations, and everything, right? And that was the idea about the first block, to understand there is something available in Microsoft Dynamics and what is the use case for that. Now we are going to do what we are going to do in this video is that we are going to take a step back and understand that if we have to, how do we create our own templates, how do we manage them, right? What are the different options for creating the templates, right? You would have seen certain attributes on the data template, so we will try to understand that what those attributes are and how it affects us if we are going to use them in our project. So Microsoft Dynamics 365 offers a lot of default templates which we can utilize for our project. But let's say sometimes if we have to create our own templates, so how do we create those templates? So let's understand that first. And let's understand this by one example which I have put on the screen. And the example is, let's say, the payment setup. So we all know that in AP and AR, there are certain payment setups which are common, right? We can configure common. It is the shared setup. And there are three different configurations which we require under the payments. Is one is the payment day, where we define that if we are going to make or process our payments, supplier payments, right? On which day we will be processing. So every organization has, okay, we will be processing every Monday or Friday or any other weekday, right? Then we have payment schedule concept, where we decide that how we are going to pay our invoices. So if you want to divide into different installments and things like that, we can create the payment schedule. And there is a terms of payment, which derives your due date for any invoice. Okay. Now, if you understand the sequence of these three, right? So terms of payment has a option where you can map that terms of payment will use which payment day and the payment schedule, which means the terms of payment has the dependency on payment schedule and payment day. So before we create the terms of payment, and if you want to map any payment schedule or payment day on the terms of payment, we should make sure that we have created the payment day and the payment schedule configuration in the system. So that is what we are going to do in today's video with this example, that we are going to create the template for our payment setup for AR and AP, which we can use again and again. Okay. So how do we create, what sequence we put it, how these things can be dependent on each other, right? So this is what we are going to discuss. Now, if you talk about that, what are the different ways of creating the template in Microsoft Dynamics data management? You can create your template manually, where you create a template, you select what data entities in which sequence it should be used. You can also create the template if you have already created any project, the data project, okay, in data management. So you can use that project and create the template using that. Or you can create or you can import the template from any other environment where you already have that template created. So these are the three different ways we're using which we can create our own templates. So let's go to the system and see that how we can create this payment setup template, and how we can define the sequence for these and data entities which we have listed here for the payments. Okay, this is just one example. You can have other examples, like if you talk about the finance, the chart of account. So first the chart of account should be created, then the main account categories should be created, and then you should have the main accounts created. So similarly, there are different set of data, or the data entities are there across different modules which have the dependency on each other. So we need to make sure that we identify that sequence, we identify the dependencies, and according to that we do the template configuration. So let's understand this. So I have logged into Microsoft Dynamics now, and what I'm going to do is quickly I'm going to the data management, and under the data management I have my templates here. So I click on the templates, and let's say now I have to create my own template. So there are all default templates which are loaded, and I will explain in the end of this video that how these templates are provided by Microsoft and how we can use them. Okay, so let's create our own templates. So I click on new here, and I can define the template name. So let's say I say payment uh, payment as a name here, and I can just put this as a description, and I can save this. Now when you create the template, the status of the template remains the draft. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to add the data entities here. So I can add the data entities one by one, or I can use this add multiple option here. Okay, so I can select the data entities from different modules or the different types of categories or the tags which are available, and I can filter them and I can select them here. That's another option. I can even create the templates or the import the data entities which are required for this template from the data projects. Okay, so we are going to explore that option. So let's add these data entities manually. So the first data entity which we are going to add here is the payment day. So let's see if there is any payment days. So I have this. So I have lines and the header. So I'm going to add the payment day header first. Okay, and then I'm going to add the lines. Payment day, right? So I'm going to add the lines here. Now next data entity which I need is the payment schedule. Again, this is going to have the header and line. So I'm going to add the header, and then I'm going to add the payment schedule lines. And the last data entity which I need is the terms of payment. Terms of payment. So I add it here. Okay. So now I have added these data entities here. Now I can add these data entities from the project as well if I require. Now it is very important for us that how do we define the sequence? How do we define the dependency? So now there are two things. So execution unit, we are going to keep it one. And another thing which you observe here, that is that the modules, the categories and the tags are already populated by the system. So first thing is why you can create your own template. One, you want to categorize your template or group your data entities as per your requirement, where let's say standard templates is having the mix of the configuration plus the master data, right? But if you want to divide those template into a smaller part, you want to first keep it this configuration in your one template and the master in the different templates, and you want to have the sequence of that. First I will run the master configuration and then the setup. So that's one of the use case if you can if you want to define those define your own templates and divide your standard templates into the smaller categories. Okay, now how do you define these sequences, right? So if you see system has already categorized them in 1 2 3 4 5 and this is right, we can do this, but we can also have a different level of grouping. So let's say I know the payment days lines and the header is one type of data, schedule is another type of data, and terms of payment is another type of data which we are having in the system. So what we can do is that at a level in the execution, first we can define the sequence for these groupings. So let's say the payment day, I want to give it as a 10 as a sequence, and the payment lines will also be having the same sequence because these are the groups together. Now payment schedule, I can group into, like, I want the payment schedule to be run after payment days. So I'll give the priority to the payment schedule in a 20. So I'll group this 20, right? And then I have the terms of payment, which is the third set of data, and I can assign the sequence as 30 here. Now, if you see, first thing what I have done here is that I have grouped all my different kind of database into a level of execution. Okay, so payment day should be run first together, then payment schedule and the temps, right? But now again, I need one more level of priority, or one more level of the sequencing defined, because in the payment day, first the header should be created, and then then my lines data should be created. So that means I need to define the last level of sequencing for these data entities. So what we can do is, here I can define the 10 here for this, and then I can say that the payment line should be executed to, or you can say 1 or 2 also, that is fine. So first system will pick up this sequence as 10, and then under this it will again go with 10 and the 20 as a dependency. And similarly, I can go here and I can say the 10 is for this, and then the payment line also again I can define as a 20. So now I know that system after 10, first system will pick up 10, it will find both, so it will pick up these two, and then it will go within this, the sequence 10 and the 20. Similarly, next it will pick up 20, and then again 10 and 20, and then the 30. So it is having the 1, so I can just define the 10 as a one of the sequence here for the terms of payment. So that is how the level in the execution unit and the sequencing you can define for your own templates. Having said that, you in the standard template, the default templates which you have, Microsoft has done this work for you. And that is the reason I would recommend that instead of we defining our own template, we use the default templates and eliminate what is not required. Okay, so that we can do it. So I'll explain how they have maintained the sequence and what numbering they have used for the default templates. Now, once these lines are defined and everything is there, in the bottom, if you see, like, if there is any dependency and other things are available, you can just check the dependency and you can run the dependencies. You can run the configuration validation for make sure that your data entities and the sequencing which you have defined is right. Now, if you want to use this template for your data migration or moving from one entity to another entity or one environment to another environment, right, you need to validate this template. So you can click on validate and your template status will become validated. Now this template is ready for use. Okay, so now let's see how we can use this for our export purpose. Let's say I want to export from the USMF. I want to export the payment setup, which consists all these data entities. I can add more entities as well, like method of payments and a payment calendar and other things if required. So how I can migrate this configuration from USMF of this environment to the another environment, right? If I have to do that, how I will do that. Okay, so the process is same, which I have explained in the previous part, the first part of this the series, but I'm going to explain you again here. So what I need to do is that I need to log into the data management workspace and I can click on the export. Okay, so I can create a data project here. So let's say I would say export payment, right? So I want to create the data project for this and I define it here. Okay, now I can add the entities, but I already have the templates for me. So I can click on the templates and I can search my templates here. So the template is available. I will select the Excel and I will merge option and I click on OK here. So if you see, this has given me all the data entities which I had in my template. I can just hit the export option here, and then this is going to export all the data for this template for all these data entities which are available here. So now you see it has been exported. Now, as you remember in the first part, we need to download this as a package. We can download this as a package and we can follow the same process which I have explained in the previous video. Okay, you can import to any other environment or any other legal entity, and this whole data will be imported there and migrated there. Okay, Now let's understand another thing as well. If you have to create this project from template from the project, so let's create one more. So I'll give the test name here and I'll save this. So I already have created the data project. Let's say that data project I want to use here. So I can click on this data project and select this and create my template based on this. And if you observe that this has already got your level of execution unit and the sequencing. So this is another way of creating the project. Okay. Another thing is that I can export this template and then I can import this template back in my another environment where I want to use this. So these are the three different ways using which you can create and manage your own templates. So hope it is clear that how do you create and manage your templates. Now let's come back to what we have as a default templates available in Microsoft Dynamics by the Microsoft. So you would have seen that there are a lot of default templates which are available, and now how Microsoft has managed them. So Microsoft now, one of the thing if you observe in our own template is important and difficult is to identify the dependencies, the sequencing, right? I have done just for the one type of template, which is the payment. Let's assume that if you have a legal entity or multiple legal entities are there and you are using a lot of modules in Microsoft Dynamics. So creating your own template, defining the dependencies and the sequences can be a very difficult task for you. Now what you can do is that you can observe or you can use the default templates what Microsoft has provided, because they have done the sequencing and the dependency for you. It's just like you can eliminate what you don't need or you can remove what you don't need, right? So let's say if you are not using production module, remove that template. If you don't use the project accounting, remove that template. Okay, so you can use their templates. Now let's understand the sequencing and the level which Microsoft has defined. So if you observe, there are different modules which are available and the templates which are available. And what Microsoft has done that from the level from 10 to 22, right? All the data templates, what you see in Microsoft Dynamics as default templates, are assigned for the shared system entities, which means the data which is shared across multiple legal entities. So this is reserved. This level is reserved, and Microsoft has allocated to this type of data entities which are shared. Okay. There are a lot of data entities or data templates are available. If you see the journal ledger, so that is the level 25 which they have defined, and that is the company specific journal ledger setup. Okay, there can be journal ledger setup which is across legal entities, but this is specifically to the company specific. And then after that, what they have done, they have defined the band 1 to band 7, and they have defined the level 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and they have reserved this sequence. And this is the band for dependent data entities. So this you can define for your own data entities. Okay. So if let's say in the band 1, you keep the third level as 30 and you define the data entities. In the band 2, you will define the level as 40 and you will define the data entities which has the dependency on the data entities defined in the band 1, which is the 30. So 40 will have a dependency on 30, 50 will have dependency on 40 level, 60 will have a dependency on a 50, and so on. So this is what has been kept by the Microsoft for us as a level of execution here, or level of dependencies. Okay. After this, you have default templates available for bank, accounts payable, tax, the module specific templates which have been defined by the Microsoft, and it has the different levels defined. So bank has 100, accounts payable 120, 130, 140, and so on. Okay. Now it is not a sure shot formula from Microsoft. Microsoft also keeps revising this based on the releases or the new dependencies they find. Okay. So it is possible that accounts payable, which is 120, let's say if we define the posting profile, and if the posting profile is based on the item, right? So that means I have a dependency on the product information, which is the 310 sequence. So in my sequencing, I should import the item master first and then create the posting profile. Okay. So there can be some dependencies like this or some exceptions which can come up. So we can manage these exceptions ourselves and try to find out what is stopping us. But one thing is that once you define this sequence, once you finalize your templates, what is required for your company or for your implementation, it will be easy for you to reuse this again and again across different environments or different versions or different legal entities, right? You can use them again and again, and you can create these data packages and you can upload to the LCS so that you can use it again and again. So I hope it is clear that instead of creating your own templates manually, it is important that we utilize the standard templates because the level of sequencing and the dependencies has been done by the Microsoft for us. So we need not to invest the time in that. Now let's go back to our Microsoft Dynamics screen and let's understand some standard templates which are available for us. So let's see this. So if you observe, we have the default templates available for the modules, but Microsoft has done also another good job, which is like the area wise they have configured the data template. So if you observe, there is a template available for financials and it has all the data entities or the sequences available for configuring your financial setup across different module. And if you want to look at them, you can just use the sort by option, and you can see that all the journal ledger, accounts payable, financial dimensions, all the finance configurations or the data templates are available for us. And similarly, I think there is one more available for our supply chain as well. So if I go to supply chain, so supply chain is available for us. So similarly, they have tried to group apart from the module wise, they have tried to group the templates by the different areas. And but one of the important thing which you need to understand, the level of education is depending on, or they have kept it in a similar way which I have just now explained you in the slides. So I think that's it for this video. I think this helps you to identify your required templates. How do you, if you have to create, then how do you create your templates? If you have to export it and import into another environment, how do you do that? How do you use that is being defined in, is being explained in the part 1. And now you understand that how you can use the standard templates and eliminate what you don't need. Okay, so that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoy my content, and I request if you like it and if you enjoy it, then just like, share and the subscribe. And that's conclude the today's video. I look forward to seeing you all in the next one, and thank you for watching. And write me in the comment box if you want me to create a video on a specific topic which you want me to do that. Okay, thank you all, thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Thanks.